into the call. So this one's going to be just about hats. We'll start with the vintage hats because right now the hat market kind of goes up and down. About 5 years ago, it was very, very hot, and then it kind of cooled down for the last 5 years. But now it's starting to heat up again as far as the vintage sports hats go. So some of the brands that you want to look for are going to be Sports Specialties, Starter, Logo Athletic, The Game, and whatnot. So we'll go one by one through those, and I'll show you some of the most desirable designs, and I'll show you the keywords that you need to know if you are going to sell those types of items. So for Sports Specialties hats, the most desirable teams are always going to be the West Coast teams, the Lakers, the Raiders, the Los Angeles Kings, because a lot of the rappers from the 90s used to wear those hats. So those are always going to be the most desirable teams as far as the vintage sports hats go. And then after that, you'd have the Bulls because of Jordan, of course. And then you would have the main markets like, the Knicks and things like that. But also the teams that are defunct, or maybe the teams that have moved, those teams are also desirable, like the Seattle Supersonics or anybody that has changed their logo or updated their logo. So as far as Sports Specialties go, the most desirable logos are going to be the script logos. So this is what's called the script design, and that's the keyword that you're going to want to use. Right here, when it's written out, that's called the script. That's the nickname for this design. Just like if you would have a dress, every dress would have a name. So the tag on Sports Specialties hat is going to look like this. It's going to say Sports Specialties. They're going to come in two different variations. One is going to be wool, and then the other one is going to be twill. So wool is going to be the most money, and this is going to be this one that we're looking at here is a Sports Specialties wool hat. The original snaps on these are going to be the Young and snaps. And this is the tag that you're looking for, Sports Specialties. So like I said, the California teams, the Jordan, those are going to be the most desirable. So we'll look at script to start. Here's a Kings one. Again, this is the script. Here's a Blackhawks script. Bulls, Lakers. This one is corduroy, so it's a little more rare. So when it comes to the script designs, most of the time you're going to see what's called white dome on the script design. So the white dome is just going to be like this, a hat that has a white top. The black ones are the most desirable, they're the most rare, and the other colors are more desirable that are not the white dome. So like this one is an all black one. If this was just a Broncos white one, it would be worth half the price. They have Raiders in white. They have all the colors in white, but the black ones or the blue ones or the corduroy ones, those ones are a little more rare. So here's a Nets one that I have, a Nets black dome. The black ones are the rarest. The corduroy ones are pretty good. And, well, the black ones are not the rarest. The rarest ones are the heather gray. The heather gray ones are very, very difficult to find. I've only found maybe one or two, but those ones are very cool looking and they sell for pretty good money. So the heather gray are the rarest colorway. Then after that comes black, and then just the regular white color design. So for the script, like I said, it's just going to be this name in cursive. Whatever the team is, it's going to have the name in cursive. That's the script design. And these you can find pretty easily. They're actually out there pretty frequent. Again, this is a black dome, so it's with a little more money. Let's try to scroll back and try to look at, the white ones that are, not crazy price stuff that you'll see from time to time. Like here's a Miami Dolphins green one. I find this one all the time. It's not crazy desirable, but the black version of this would be rare. So the rare color is going to be the black ones, the heather gray ones, stuff like that, or the corduroy ones sell for pretty good. But if you see a Sports Specialties, with the script design, pick it up. You're always going to make money on it. Some of the teams are more rare than other, like this Blue Jays one. They didn't make a lot of the Blue Jays, but like some teams, they did make a lot of them. So remember how I said earlier, they have some that are all wool, and then they have some that are twill. So this is twill. So this one is not as desirable as the all wool, but it still sells for pretty good money. So this is the tag that you want to remember, sports specialties. And this is the design that you're looking for, the script design. Any sports specialties hat that you see out there is probably going to be worth picking up, because more often than not, hats are $1, $2, maybe most $5. And you know, the great thing about selling hats is that they're adjustable for these snapbacks, and they're going to fit just about everybody, and they're very, very low return. So here's one design. Again, the team or the brand is going to be Sports Specialties. This design is called Script. So they have all wool ones, which sell for the most, and then they have these twill ones, which don't sell for the most, but they still sell fine. So the black ones are the most desirable, the heather gray, corduroy, but any kind of script, you're going to do well on. It doesn't matter. Sports Specialties has other types of designs that are pretty desirable. This one is called the laser design. And it has this on the side. So that's what makes it the laser design. This one is also called shadow sometimes. And again, it's going to have, this one has a slightly different tag. So I'll see if we can find one that has a close-up of that tag. So this part over here makes this one the laser design. And then here's the Sports Specialties tag on these ones. So the other one had the S logo. This one has a red logo. This one is going to be a wool blend, and it's going to have the Sports Specialties on the side right here. But these shadow ones and these or laser, they sell for pretty good money as well. And you can find these pretty easily. They're out there all the time. Here's the Supersonics that I was talking about earlier. They're no longer a team, so there's not much of this stuff floating around out there. But that's one of the Sports Specialties tag, and here's the laser design on it. So you got the script Sports Specialties, you got the laser Sports Specialties. Sometimes people use shadow, and so shadow and laser can be interchangeable sometimes, but it's a little bit different because it has the main logo and then a shadow of the logo behind it. But these ones sell for great money. Again, anything Sports Specialties, pick up, you're going to make pretty good money on it. And this one, Sports Specialties, was owned by Nike. That's why it's one of the most desirable hat brands from back in the day. Here's the tag on it again. So just remember these two tags: this Sports Specialties tag and the one that we showed before. One of the Sports Specialties hats that is hard to identify, that's what sells for a lot of money, is the plain logo tags, or the plain logo hats. And the Sports Specialties plain logos are going to be black. They're just going to have a plain logo on the front, and then they're just going to have the MLB logo on the side. But the plain logos sell for a ton of money. They're very high quality hats. They're going to be, the Sports Specialties are going to be made of wool. And a lot of people get caught slipping on these because they think it's just a black hat, nothing special. But these plain logo black hats are pretty rare, and they didn't make a lot of them. But if you have one, you have to know that it's a plain logo and it's worth more money. I've had the Montreal Expos version of this for probably 3 or 4 times. And the first time that I sold it, I undersold it because I didn't know, back in the day, I didn't know that it was a plain logo or anything special. And I sold it for $20 or $30. It sold immediately. But after that, I learned that it was special, and I've sold that half for $400 or $500 every time since. So these Sports Specialties plain logos, they're worth good money. I don't know why. It's probably just due to them not being mass produced, but they're very high quality hats, and the plain logos sell for pretty good money. So that's Sports Specialties. Again, we'll look at the tag real quick. And this is a good way to, you could just Google a lot of this stuff and you can get educated pretty quickly on it. So this is the sports specialties. This is the twill tag, but this is the tag you want to look for. And this is one of the other tags that they use, this logo right here. So they have a couple different, lines when it comes to sports specialties. They have the pro, which here's the pro tag. That's usually going to be on fitted hats, which we'll cover a little bit later. Here's another pro tag right here. But these hats will also have the sports specialties tag on the other side of the inside of the hat. So this is the tag that's going to be on the corduroy hats, but this is the most important tag, this sports specialties one. So after pretty much anything sports specialties pick up and you're going to be profitable. After that, starter hats are pretty desirable, and there's a couple different logos or keywords that you would want to know. This design, it looks similar to script, but this design is called motion. And again, the California teams are going to do the best because the rappers like NWA and things like that wore this style of hat. So here's what the starter tag looks like inside. Again, anything that's made of wool is going to be more desirable than things that are like an acrylic blend or a different type of material. So this motion hat is good, and that's the keyword you want to use is motion. The Lakers one sells for the best money. A lot of people keyword spam on the snapback hats, but that's kind of part of the game. So here's another Lakers one. It'll have the starter logo on the back. This one is made of wool, and here's the tag starter again, 100% wool. So this is a good one that you want to look out for is that motion one, where it looks like the words are kind of going off to the right there. They have other good starter ones. Shockwave is a good one, and these ones sell for pretty good money. It's just this zigzag design. These are very easy to see when you're out in the wild, but these sell for great money. A lot of these ones go over to Ireland. These ones are very popular in Ireland, but this shockwave design sells for good money. These ones are going to be a strap back. These aren't going to be snapback, but this one has Velcro on here instead of the snaps. Don't use Velcro as a keyword or in the title or in the description. You will get a Vero. The company that owns Velcro is very protective of the Velcro brand. So here's the tag starter. Here's the design. This is the shockwave design. These ones sell for very good money. Depending on the team, some of them sell better. Some of them sell, for around 50 to 100. But this shockwave design is pretty good. Some people use this as also a shockwave design, but this I've seen used also as like a collision or a shatter hat. The real name for this is going to be shatter, and those ones sell pretty good as well. And it's going to have the same tags. You're just looking for this design. Here's the starter tag pro line, and this is called the shatter design. Some people also use collision as a keyword for this design, but this shatter design is out there pretty well as well. So starter also has a script hat that they do like this, where it kind of has this this banner that goes underneath. So it's Kings in cursive and has this banner underneath. Going to have starter on the back, and it's going to have this starter tag as well. So here's another script one. Here's a script one. This is a script heather gray. So people who collect Bengals hats, this heather gray one is going to be the rarest one, the rarest colorway that comes. Also for the starter hats, they have the arch design, which is pretty popular. And it's just an arch. The words are arched up. Like you see how these ones aren't arch designs, but people just keyword spam in the hats one a lot. But this arch design is really what you're looking for with the starter hats. So for the starter, again, you have Shockwave, which is going to be this one. You have the motion, which is going to be the words that are sliding off like this, kind of sliding off to the right. It has these lines showing that it's in movement. You're going to have their own script hat like this. And it's going to be any team. It could say Florida Marlins. It could say Buffalo Bills. That's just the design that we're looking for. And then they have the collision or the shatter hat, like this. So another good brand is going to be Logo Athletic. And Logo Athletic has a couple good designs that you're going to be looking for. The first one is going to be the splash design, which kind of looks like, you know, like a painter drew a paintbrush on it. And any of these splash designs that you see are going to be worth very good money. The black dome ones are more rare. Back in the day, I've sold this hat a lot of times for $100. Now it's a multi-$100 hat. But this black dome is going to be more rare than this white dome. Anything Milwaukee Bucks, since they just won the championship, is going to be pretty desirable. Same for the Suns. They went, you know, pretty far in the NBA playoffs. But the white domes are the most common. The black domes are the more rare colorway for the splash. So let's see if we can get a good picture of a tag here. Here's the Logo Athletic tag. It's just going to be an L with this design on it. And these are the designs that you're looking for. You're going to look for the splash design. They also have the shark tooth design. And these hats are pretty common and they sell for pretty good money. Depending on the team, that's where the money is going to be made. This is the shark tooth design. Again, pretty common. And then the same tag, of course, Logo Athletic. The black dome shark tooth hats are the rarest. But the rarest of the rarest shark tooth are the double shark tooth. And those are going to be the rarest of the rarest. But they're out there, you can find them. And those are going to be the shark tooth design, but in two different colors. So this one is purple and black. This one is red and blue. This Panthers one is red and blue, green and yellow on the shark tooth. So this is a double shark tooth, where these ones were single shark tooth because it's only one color. So the double shark tooth you want to look for Logo Athletic. They have, this is a faded out one. They have the diamond design, which is pretty desirable. And just these diamonds on the side, that's the nickname for it, diamond. The Logo Athletic logo will always be on the side of the Logo Athletic hats. And then again, the tag is going to be on the inside here. So for the Logo Athletic, we're looking for splash design, Logo Athletic. That's this one. And the black domes are the rarest, but white dome ones still sell great. You're going to be looking for shark tooth. Again, double shark tooth is the most money, but the single shark tooth still sell for great money. Here's a single shark tooth black dome. Here's a Kansas City Chiefs black dome. But here's a white dome Charlotte Hornets shark tooth. And then you're going to look for the diamond design. The diamond design is pretty popular. Those are pretty much everywhere. And, you know, pre-owned, they still go for pretty good money. Here's $120 pre-owned for the Patriots. Another good brand is going to be the Game. The best ones for the Game are going to be the big logo. And big logo is just like the name says, the whole top of the hat is going to be the logo. So here's the Ducks, here's Here's the Indiana Pacers. So big logo, they're kind of hard to find, but they're out there. I've found them and they sell for good money. These ones also go to Ireland. And let's see if we can get a picture of the tag. Here's what the tag looks like. On the left, it just says the Game. And the big logos sell for great money. So here's a St. Louis Blues. Here's another Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Here's a Suns. Here's a Bulls. It's just going to be, the logo takes up the entire top of the hat. I just sold a New York Knicks pre-owned big logo a couple of weeks ago. I think I got $150 for it, and it even had a couple of issues with it. So here's the tag that you're looking for the Game. Another desirable model for the Game is going to be the circle hats. circle logo. The white ones, are pretty common, but the other colorways are not as common. So this is a circle hat. It just has this circle in the middle right here, and it usually has a cursive logo in front of it. It's going to have the same logo that we were just looking at. It's going to have the game tag on the inside. But like these red ones and these black ones are more rare. Brown one is more rare. The normal ones that you're going to find are most likely going to be plain color white ones like this, but they still sell. These are very small schools, Montana State, so that's why these aren't selling for as much. But you know, these ones are pretty good. You can sell them for $20-$30 all day, and this is called the Circle Design. And most of these are going to be college. Another brand is going to be Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson has a lot of cool designs. This one is also called the Shatter, and it's a Lakers hat, so those ones sell. Like I said, those ones have the biggest following. There's the tag on the right, Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson also has these graffiti hats, which are pretty cool. So here's another Shatter, Drew Pearson. Here's the tag, and it also says Drew Pearson on the back. So these Shatter ones are worth pretty good money. These graffiti ones are pretty cool. I had a lot of these a long time ago, and I was selling them for like $50. This was like maybe 8 years ago, but they're worth a lot of money now. So here's a Drew Pearson design. So the Drew Pearson hats are worth good money. The graffiti ones, any type of Raider thing. These ones are pretty cool. You can find these out there. This is similar to like a big logo hat. So it's going to have, whatever team it is going to be here, but it's going to have the guy dunking the basketball. These are worth pretty good money. Again, twill design, but this is a Drew Pearson as well. So those cool basketball ones are pretty cool. Here's a shadow. These ones are out there. They just have like this whirlpool design on them, and then the Drew Pearson logo there. Here's the dunking guy again. So Drew Pearson is a good one to look for. They have these graffiti hats as well that sell for good money. I sold a Giants one a couple weeks ago for about $150. So these Drew Pearson graffiti hats sell pretty good money. This one even has like messed up snaps on it. And like for these highly desirable hats that we're talking about, the sports specialties, the starters, the logo athletic, the game, Drew Pearson, even if the snap is broken, you can still sell them on eBay for pretty good money. And whoever buys it will just go and replace the snap. Or if you want to replace the snap, you could go to the dry cleaner. And if they have a seamstress, they'll replace the snap for you for like $7. So just because the snap is cracked on these multi-$100 hats, like then it's just like a couple $100 hat, and whoever buys it can repair it if they wish. So here's the shatter one, here's the graffiti one, and a lot of these hats that I've talked about up till now, these sports specialties, the scripts, the starters, the logo athletics, the game, those are good candidates for auction, because a lot of these hats, they have people that collect every hat of the design, or they have people that collect every hat of their team. So when a hat comes up for auction that they don't have and they collect the team, then they have to buy all the hats. And there's usually pretty good bidding wars when it comes to it. I sold last week, one ended, it was a San Francisco 49ers script hat, and it was a black dome. And I think I got $121 for it. So that's pretty good for an auction. Let's see if it's still here. So this one went up to 227. Where am I? I might not be on here. So this is by bid. They do get heavy amount of action when it comes to these hats on bid. So don't be afraid to put these hats to auction either. So to recap, sports specialties, starter, logo athletic, the game, They also have logo 7, which is a little bit on the lower end of snapback hats, but they still do sell. And what they do is they have similar designs to sports specialties. Like they have their own version of the splash design. They have their own version of the as a logo athletic. They have their own version of shark tooth design, and they're not as desirable as the logo athletic ones, but they still do sell. So let's see if this is a logo 7. So this is a logo athletic. So it might be hard because I'm sorting by highest first and people keyword spam these. Just trying to show you guys the tag on the logo 7s. Nope, no tag on that guy. Let's see if this guy has a tag. And you want to show the tags, you want to show the material. It's very important for the hats. Some people don't, but you're going to get more money if you do. So here's the logo 7 design. And the hats sell pretty good. I always pick up logo 7. There's nothing wrong with them. But like based on the hierarchy that we've done, sports specialties, starter, logo athletic, the game, and then kind of logo 7 is going to be a little bit lower than that. So the hats that we've looked at so far have been vintage ones, but they have remake of them now. And even the remake, they sell pretty well. You can get $20, $30 for, you know, a remake Mitchell and Ness script. I always pick them up. They sell, no problem. You know, even pre-owned, $20 all day for these remake Mitchell and Ness scripts. We'll look at the tag for a second. So there's nothing wrong with these remakes. They sell, like I said, if you get them for $1, $2, $5, they're gonna sell. There's the Mitchell and Ness logo right there on the right. I might have to respond to these offers that came in while I've been on the call because it's messing up my screen share. But here's a script one. They also have their own shark tooth, which again, it sells fine, no problem. You're just not going to get the multiple hundreds of dollars that you would if this was, you know, a logo athletic script. You're going to get $20 and, you know, it's no problem. It's all good. It's still going to sell. But this is new school of the old school one. So there's Mitchell and Ness there. So that's snapbacks kind of in a little bit of a nutshell when you're talking about vintage ones. You know, there are certain other snapback hats, like anything Jordan related is going to command a premium, especially like these championship hats that they showed a lot during the Last Dance documentary that they did last year. Any of these NBA champion Michael Jordan hats sell for great money. I sold one last week for $100 plus. You know, they won the championship 6 times, so they have, you know, 96, 97. They have, depending on the year, that's going to be the design of it. But, you know, here's a 1991 for 119. And, you know, anything pop culture, Michael Jordan. What else do we got? Like the hat that Kobe wore when he was drafted. Like if you don't know that that's the hat, you're going to sell it and you're going to get caught slipping. So here's a shadow one that Kobe wore on draft night. And because Kobe wore, because he was drafted by the Hornets, he didn't want to sign with the Hornets and then he went to the Lakers. But Kobe wore this same hat, and because he wore it, it is worth more money. So here he is wearing it on draft night, and because of that, it's worth more money. So if you don't know that, you know, you get caught slipping and it sells for not more money. But that's something you just have to learn inside of the niche. It's just like everything else. Like, you know, some shirts for Nike are rare and they sell for more money. Some shirts for, you know, Patagonia are rare, they sell for more money. But overall, it's pretty easy to look up comps for the hats. but there are a couple outliers because certain people wore them that they are worth extra money. So since we were talking about how rappers wore some of the hats and that's why they're more valuable. So here we have a picture of the King's script that we were talking about. Um, this black White Sox hat is worth a lot of money because the rappers from the 90s wore it. That's one that's very easily to get caught slipping on is these sports specialties plain logo White Sox hats, because these plain logos is the exact one that the rappers wore, and these sell for crazy money. Talking $1,200 for a pre-owned hat. This one's gonna have the sports specialties. This one's gonna be made of wool, but these White Sox hats, they sell for very good money because a lot of the rappers back in the day wore these Sox hats because back in the day, some of these hats had different meanings according to certain neighborhoods that you would live in. So these White Sox hat, here's a Raiders script. Um, the plain logo LA Dodgers hat sells good. He's wearing the motion hat. Here's a script. Here's a script. So that's why the script and the motion hats go for the most money because a lot of the California rappers used to wear them all the time. Um, so pop culture is a big thing when it comes to clothing, accessories, things like that. Um, so after that, we'll talk a little bit about um, other types of hats. So you have a snapback hat, kind of everyone knows what that is. You have a strap back hat. Probably everybody knows what that is as well. Sometimes these are referred to as dad hats, and these have the strap on the back with the buckle as opposed to the snap that we were just looking at. So these strap back hats, they sell pretty well. A lot of those are going to be, like brands for clothing, like the one we just saw was Nike. Um, but everyday Nike strap back hats, they sell for good money. You can get $20 all day for them. I've had this hat before. Like this is one that you can get caught slipping on because maybe you don't know what it is. This is the Anthony Hardaway, Penny Hardaway Nike hat with the foam posit design on the front. Um, and this is a strap back hat. I sold this hat to Sean Weatherspoon of round two. He still wears it pretty often, but yeah, you gotta know what's going on. And speaking of Sean Weatherspoon, this is a Sean Weatherspoon hat. It's made of corduroy. It has all the swooshes around it. Um, and it's just a Nike hat strap back. Um, but not all Nike hats sell for crazy money, but there are crazy Nike hats that sell for crazy money. So we'll look at, the more common ones first before we look at other ones. But, Team USA Soccer, just a plain swoosh on the front. Nike visors sell great. Any sort of team Nike hat is going to do great. Um, any sort of Nike hat, running hat, dry fit hat, those ones are going to sell for around $20 all day pre-owned. I like to sell the Featherlight hats. You can find them everywhere, and they sell for $20 pretty quickly. And they'll have a little Featherlight kind of sticker tag on the inside. Sell for great money. They didn't show it. That's not a true Featherlight hat. Here's one. And they'll say Featherlight on the inside. They sell for real fast for great money. Here it is right here, Featherlight. You could pick these up for $1, $2, and they're going to sell for $20 all day. So for the strap back hats, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, Tommy Bahama, Peter Millar, any type of fashion brand is going to do fine, just like it would for clothing. So let's look at a couple rare ones. Any Nike hat is going to sell. If it's a Nike hat, pick it up. But they do have the rare ones. We looked at the Penny Hardaway one, the panel ones. Some of the panel ones sell for pretty good money. So a panel hat is going to be, they have different ones like 5-panel. So here's a 5-panel hat. And unlike the baseball hats that we looked at, like these are like pieces of fabric So this one has one, two, 3, 4, 5 panels. That's why it's a 5-panel hat. The panel hats sell for pretty good money. Here's the Anthony Hardaway. Someone must have found a lot of those. Here is the up-tempo one. This is the same design as the Scottie Pippen shoes. So this up-tempo hat sells for pretty good money. It is the same design as these from back in the day. These ones right here. So that's a good hat that sells for pretty good money. But that's an older one. The ACG hats sell pretty good. And ACG stands for All Conditions Gear. ACG hats sell great. ACG has a huge following. Anything ACG, whether it's jackets, pants, the shoes, the hats, everything ACG sells for pretty good money. But here's the ACG logo. Let's see. That's the ACG logo on the front, ACG. Those sell pretty good. Nike tennis hats sell good, like the Roger Federer hats. Those sell great. Even the clothing for Roger Federer sells great. So this RF logo is Roger Federer. Pre-owned, I sold a pre-owned Roger Federer's hat today, I think for around $50. So here's like a pre-owned visor for $120. This is the style of hat that I sold today for $50. This Roger Federer logo. Nike golf hats sell fine. Anything Nike hat is going to do fine. I'm sorting highest to lowest, so these are kind of, the rarer ones, but this is a panel one of a Nike golf hat. So, even Nike running hats, they have some rare Nike running hats. Like this panel one is rare. It has the zip away on the top. Here's a rare panel running hat. If it's a panel hat, I always look it up because a lot of these panel ones can sell for pretty good money. Here's another panel one. These ones, the tailwind hats, they sell for good money. And they have usually a lot of reflective material on them. And this is a panel hat, but these tailwind ones sell for good money. And you only kind of know that it sells for good money when you get caught slipping on the first one. And then you say, okay, I need to investigate further. So these running tailwind hats, they sell for good money. They'll sell for $100 pretty easily a lot of the times. Then you have your Under Armour, you have your Adidas. Even the Tommy Bahama strapback hats, they sell all day for $20. They're out there all the time. They're out there all the time. They're there. They have all the little fish logos, sometimes silly sayings on the front, but they'll sell for $20 all the time. Peter Millar strapback hats, they sell for good money. They're going to have little logos on them, $20 all day, easy to ship, never going to get returned, not going to break in the mail. You're not going to have an issue with those. What else? Polo hats. We could probably spend 3 hours talking about polo hats, but I'll show you a few of those. We talk about a lot of this stuff in the calls, but I just wanted to separate it into one dedicated call because a lot of people do ask, to talk about hats and like a hat call. So this one here is the polo ball hat, sold for $300. Anything from the 1992 or the 1993 line is going to sell for good money. Here's 92, RL92. This is going to be a strap back hat. No, this is a fitted. And they're going to have, the standard polo tag that we're used to seeing. So RL92, RL93, anything that's uncommon for polo is always going to sell for good money. Here's a 5-panel wax cotton hat. Polo Bear sells great. Polo USA sells great. Here's a Polo Sportsman hat. This is a long bill hat. We'll look at those in a second. So here's Polo Sportsman. It's got a couple of ducks on the front. Those hats sell great. Polo Sport hats sell great. Here's another long bill. So the Polo long bill hats are pretty hard to find, but they're very desirable. I've only found one before, but they have like a huge cult following, and they just have this oversized long bill on the front. They're kind of floppy, but they're worth so much money. These long bill polo hats. Here's a long, no, that's not a polo hat, but some people keyword spam long bill, but the true long bill hats up here sell for the most money. Polo USA, anything polo sport, anything big, loud, a bunch of colors. Here's a tartan plaid colorway. Tartan plaid polo stuff does great. Polo USA, here's another polo ball. Here's a long bill. Here's the Polo 93. And Polo 93 was a lot of sailing stuff. That was the whole Polo 93 line. So anything sailing related is going to be worth money. This was the Polo 93. Here's the advertisements for it. So anything 1993 sailing affiliated is going to be worth a lot of money, especially when it comes to the hats. 1992 was their Olympic Stadium edition. So anything, you know, Polo Stadium, Polo 1992, Olympics, anything like that from Polo 92 is going to be the most desirable, these 92, 1993 stuff. Here's another Polo Sportsman. This one has a fish on the front. The other one we looked at had some ducks on the front. Here's one from the 92. This one is custom though. This is a remake of the Polo 92 one. Here's a Polo 93 sailing hat. Here's a little dog on the front. Here's another dog on the front, another dog on the front. So anything weird, rare. Here's a 92. This is a custom. This 92 hat sells for a lot of money. See if we can find one. This is the P-Wing logo. This P-Wing stuff sells for good money as well. See if we can find a real 92. Yeah, here's a $3,400 Polo 1992 hat. Here's a $500 Polo Stadium 92 hat. Here's the P-Wing that I just showed. These P-Wing hats sell for pretty good money. Here's a polo ball hat for $1,200. Here's the P-Wing. Looks like that's the only one that's available. I've had this hat a lot of times, this polo sport hat. It's a consistent $150 seller. The tag for polo sport looks like this on the inside. Anything polo sport sells for good money. It used to be super hot about 5 years ago, not as hot anymore, but it still sells pretty well. There's a polo sport, the polo bear, but even just regular with the pony hats, they'll sell all day for $20 or $30. So any polo hat, pick it up. You're gonna do fine on it. Here's mine on the top. Even this one all beat up, it's still gonna sell. Here's polo. This guy, 1777, funny guy. Polo hats, you know, they sell good. Anything polo is going to be fine, whether it's, you know, a bucket hat or, you know, a little bit more different right here. The polo pony corduroy hats, they sell for good money, like $50 to $100. Here I have one for $100. But you can get anywhere between $50 to $100 for these pony ones with the corduroy. If it has a different logo on it, you'll be able to get, you know, more money on it, like this polo bear hat. Same thing for Tommy Hilfiger. They have some cool Tommy Hilfiger hats, but you know, Tommy Hilfiger isn't as desirable these days, but there are some cool ones out there. Like these crest ones sell fine. These denim ones with the Tommy Hilfiger. In the heyday of Hilfiger, I sold this hat for $200 many times, but it's not there anymore. Here's a panel one, Tommy Hilfiger. So Tommy Hilfiger hats, they sell great. The best ones are going to be the sailing ones and the Lotus hats. So like this panel one sailing, this is like the same design like a sail would be made out of, like this zigzag stitching. So that zigzag stitching is anything sailing. Sailing hats do good. Lotus hats, those are going to do the best, but those are very hard to find. Here's a $200 one, and it's just going to say Lotus on the front. Team Lotus. This is like a racing hat. Team Lotus design. But outside of that, for the strap back hats, like any brand that we pick up clothing wise is going to be good. Nike, Adidas, Reebok, Under Armour, you know, Patagonia hats are great. Some of them sell for a tremendous amount of money, but any plain Patagonia hat is still going to sell for, you know, $20, $30, no problem. Um, but some of the Patagonia hats can sell for crazy money. It all depends on the design of the hat again and what logo is on it. So, you know, here's a Patagonia hat with a little whale on it, 90 bucks. These plain Patagonia hats are going to be $20, $30 all day. These trout ones sell pretty good. The trucker ones sell good. So any Patagonia hat, this one's 40 bucks. Any Patagonia hat is going to be great. Um, they do have some really rare ones. I sold one a couple of weeks ago for $400. It was, no, it's not on here. The one I had was crazy rare. And my solds don't show up, so um, I can't show you. Let's see if they have one. This is probably a pricing error. It's probably supposed to be $98.99. The one I had was like this, but it was all over print. This mahi pattern on shorts sells very good. It's like a mahi trout pattern. And if you have the shorts for this, I've had the shorts a couple times, sells great. And if you sell it for the wrong price, they will get bought immediately, but that's part of the game. So any of these all over print hats, these panel hats, you know, sell for very good money. A lot of them will go to Japan. A lot of this Patagonia stuff does end up in Japan. But yeah, Patagonia hats, anything fashion that we normally sell and we normally already look for, hat wise is going to be fine. So, you know, we can go into Disney hats. Disney hats sell fine. Present day, vintage ones, you know, vintage ones are going to sell great as well. People are selling these ears. These ears, if they're limited edition, they sell for great money. But you just have to know which ones you're looking for. Um, so, you know, anything movie related is going to do good. Here's a Quack Pack. Here's Toy Story. Here's a Pixar one for 150. Disney stuff is real hot right now because the shirts are real hot. So people are buying, you know, matching hats for matching shirts. So there's, you know, Pocahontas, but it doesn't even have to be movie related. Just anything Disney, even from the theme park. It's just, you know, anything Disney hat wise is going to do fine. Visors, new, old, present day, doesn't matter. It's going to be $20 minimum. Seeing this hat right here reminded me of another hat. So we'll do a little bit of a detour and we will go to Blockhead hat. And these Blockhead hats, they have cartoon guys on the front, and on the back, it will have the name spelled out, and that gives it the Blockhead terminology. And these are going to be made by American Needle. This is the American Needle tag, and this is the Blockhead style. So the Blockhead ones with the cartoons on the front, they sell for very good money, and depending on who the cartoon guy is, the more money you're going to get. So the Marvel ones are going to sell for the most money. Cartoon, pop culture. Here's a Marvel one. Here's a Marvel one. And all these are going to have the logo on the front, and then they're going to have the name spelled out in the back. So I've had this Betty Boop a lot of times. So it'll say Betty Boop on the front, and then it'll say Betty Boop on the back, and that's going to have the American Needle tag on the inside. So Blockhead hats are very good. Here's a Grimace one from McDonald's. I've had this Pink Panther a couple times. The Popeye that we just looked at, Rocky and Bullwinkle. But yeah, Disney hats sell very good. Anything like video game hats sell good, like Nintendo hats. Here's a Nintendo World Championship. Here's a Donkey Kong. Here's a Mario one. Nintendo, this is a Power Fest. Here's a Mortal Kombat. Here's one that I have for $150. Here's a Nintendo 64. I sold one of those a couple of weeks ago. Game Boy Color. But anything video game related, anything pop culture, cartoon, it doesn't matter. Mortal Kombat again, Donkey Kong, Atari, Rebel Assault, Zelda. Here's a cool Zelda one. Yeah, all that stuff is gonna sell fine. Anything movie related, movie stuff is very hot, and the promo hats are the hottest. So here's a Free Willy. Here's a Rough Riders one. Larry Flynn versus the People, Casino, Bones, Friday, How High the movie, Matrix, Casper 300. Anything movie related is super hot because, again, just like the Disney and the Marvel stuff, the shirts are super hot. So like if someone has a Matrix shirt, they're going to want the matching Matrix hat. Here's a Kazam one. That's the old Shaq movie, Cartoon Network. Wayne's World, I've sold these hats a lot. Pulp Fiction. So anything like movie, video game, cartoon, Marvel hats. Marvel hats are going to do great. Spider-Man. Because Marvel shirts are some of the hottest things out. Wolverine, X-Men. It really doesn't matter. Of course, they have newer ones, which are still going to sell for $20. It doesn't matter what the character is. It's still going to sell for $20. But the older ones, those are the ones that, you know, if you see it, you can't pass it up because it's going to sell for a couple bucks. So, you know, along the same lines as advertising, you know, you have like the Coca-Cola hats. Anything advertising is going to sell for pretty good. We'll cover these kind of hats in a minute. But a lot of them are going to be, you know, the trucker hats for Coca-Cola. These ones with the patches on the front do good. You know, gas, racing, anything gas related, racing related. Let's see if this brings up anything like mobile, or like a lot of these hats sell for pretty good. Texaco, STP, stuff like that. Anything car related, I would just advise, like if you're gonna list a Chevy hat, just make sure that it's licensed, because there are a lot of hats like this one that is a hat, but it has like Ford written on it. It's not licensed by Ford. I mean, you could list it if you want to, but like for me, I'm too chicken to list that kind of stuff because technically it is not licensed. And what you're going to want to see is this down here. Chevrolet logos are trademarks under the Chevrolet Motor Division under license. That's what you're going to want to see. That's what you're going to want to show, because you can have any hat like this hat. This is just a hat with a Chevy logo on the front. Like, this is not licensed. This is just a hat and someone put a Chevy logo on the front. Technically, this can be taken down by the Chevy Corporation. So just one thing to think about when you have those kind of hats. So the most desirable ones for these advertising hats are going to be K product. And K product hats can sell for crazy, crazy, crazy money. Usually the John Deere, these ones with the patches on the front, Ford, these are going to be your trucker hats. And the K product is a little sneaky. You really have to know what you're looking for. But, you know, this has this patch on the front. There's no branding on the hat. There's no tag on the hat. But on the back snap, it's going to say K products. So this K products is what you're looking for on the old hats. And that makes all the difference in the world. A lot of these, they go to Japan. Here's a Red Man one. This one's going to sell for great money. And these are just advertising. It has the patch on the front and it has the K products on the snapback. So some of them say K products, some of them say K brand, but both of them sell for pretty good money. Here's Arrowhead brand on a K product snapback. Try to do a better picture than this if you're gonna do K products. Here's a Mack truck one. Here's a Goodyear one. I've had this one a few times. Goodyear, just the patch on the front, but it's got the K products right here. And K products, some of them will say K brand. Let's see if we can get a get a look at what K brand has. Here you go. It's the same thing, just says K brand instead of K product. So these are going to be like farmer hats. Here's a cool Mountain Dew one. This one is all mesh on the outside. But these K product, K brand, they sell for great money. Some of them do better than others. It all depends on the subject matter. But like the John Deere ones sell the best. Anything farmer, anything Caterpillar. I sold a Caterpillar K product, I think, for close to $500 before. But if you just list these without knowing their K product, they will get taken down, or not taken down. They will get bought quickly by Japan. Here's a K product one that I have, John Deere. So along with K product, they have the 3-stripe hat, and those ones sell for crazy money. And it's just these 3 stripes on the side, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And these are going to be vintage hats that are advertising. So here's a Coca-Cola 3-stripe hat. Here's an Alabama 3-stripe hat. And for some reason, these are very desirable and they sell for good money. So here's a 3-stripe hat. And these ones, they're not going to be branded, but they're going to have this 3-stripe design on the side. And a lot of these go to like Thailand, Malaysia, and they sell great, the 3-stripe hats on the side. So keep an eye out for 3-stripe, keep an eye out for K product. And as far as advertising hats go, like here's a sliced soda hat, just Tucker's Country Hams, but it's 3-stripe, so it, it's good. Pepsi 3-stripe. So for advertising, K product, K brand, that's where you're going to want to be. Fishing hats do great, like Columbia PFG hats. Those do good, whether it's baseball hat, whether it is a bucket hat. Anything PFG is going to do fine for hats. They're going to sell for $20, but they sell all the time, no problem. These long bill ones to keep the sun out of your face, these ones with the umbrella on it to keep the sun out of your face, visors do fine. Columbia PFG, you got Patagonia, like we already talked about. There's some really expensive North Face hats if you know what you're looking for. Usually the panel ones are going to be the best, or these Antarctic ones are going to be the best. Here's the Antarctic logo, and this is a panel hat as well. So Transatlantic 1990 Expedition. Here's a long bill one. Anything for the panel hats for North Face is something that you want to look up. I've sold this one a lot of times with this mesh on the side, panel hat, lightweight. But the panel hats are going to sell for the most money as far as North Face is concerned. So just keep that in mind as well. The cigarette companies are going to sell good for hats because, you're not allowed to advertise cigarettes anymore on clothing or hats. So these Marlboro hats do good. They have the Marlboro, the Penske Racing, those do good. The corduroy ones do good. Here's a Marlboro IndyCar, those do good. Here's the Team Penske. This one has a little horse on the side, those do fine. But like any cigarette brand is going to do good, like Newport. These neon ones sell pretty good, not for this much money, but you can get $20 or $30 for them, no problem. So any cigarette hat, the beer hats sell pretty good, especially the vintage ones. But a lot of these beer hats are going to be the K product, which that's kind of like a double whammy. Clydesdale, Budweiser, a lot of the advertising ones do pretty good. A lot of like the old Apple hats, the old Windows hats, those sell very good. Anything with this rainbow design for the Apple or this rainbow design for the Apple sells very good. Microsoft hats sell good. A lot of the advertising stuff or branded stuff sells good. So here's Microsoft Flight Simulator. So that one has computer, that one has video games all in one. There's some more Microsoft hats. Even if it's just for like some software like Microsoft Office or, Microsoft Word, I've sold this hat a lot. A lot of that stuff is like really pop culture. So, that's a lot for the snapback hats and the strapback hats. Pretty much any brand is going to sell clothing wise. If it sells for clothing, it's going to sell for the hats. what hat did I sell for crazy money? I think I sold like a Laurel Piana baseball hat for like $500 one time. And if you don't know Laurel Piana, that's a great brand. Um, but I had like just a regular baseball hat like this. Yeah, $500 used. It looked like this one, Laurel Piana. Laurel Piana is a very expensive brand. It's out there. It's hard to find, but it is out there. I've sold this hat for $500 before. So anything like clothing related, you know, Tommy Bahama, Vineyard Vines hats sell all the time. The strap back ones, like, or a snapback, it doesn't matter, but they'll just have this little whale on the front, and that's a $30 bill. That's a $20 bill every day, all day, just like the polo ones. So, you know, don't pass those up for sure. Um, so that's strap back and snapback. The vintage hats are going to sell great, but modern day brands are also going to sell pretty good. Just like how vintage rap shirts are pretty good. Um, the rapper hats, you know, Public Enemy, $1,200. Wu Tang. We can look at Stussy hats in a minute. You know, Wu Wear is a great brand. What else do we got here? Eminem hat, Boys to Men, um, Run DMC, stuff like that. Anything concert hats do fine. The only thing with concert hats, just like the shirts, make sure that they are licensed, because there's a lot of unlicensed concert hats. So you have Tool, Leonard Skinner, Beach Boys, MTV hats, so good. BB King, here's a Grateful Dead that I have. I think I've sold probably 5 or 6 of the same one already for $120 each. Here's the same hat for $120. Mine is brand new, $127. Blind Melon, $95. Here's a Beach Boys hat that I listed last week for $88. Here's an Aerosmith one, but just make sure this stuff is licensed and it's not just like a hat with a guy's name on the front. Usually the ones that are licensed are going to be KC, Otto Hat, OTTO, Giant, stuff like that, Kiss. All those are going to sell fine. What else do we have? We have, so outside of snapback, strapback hats is going to be fitted hats, which is like the one that I normally wear on the calls. And the company for the fitted hats is going to be New Era. New Era makes a lot of the baseball team hats. They've had the license for the baseball teams for forever. And those are going to be fitted. And those are always going to have a size on them. So this guy listed his Cleveland Indians hat for a lot of money because last week they changed the name to the Cleveland Guardians because they're getting rid of this logo here. And the name of this logo is Chief Wahoo. And sometimes this logo commands a premium. Here's the New Era logo. It's a NE and it's a little flag. And here's the size to the right, 7 1/8. The smaller the size, the harder it is to sell. Usually 7 1/4, 7 1/2, 7 1/8 are going to be the most popular sizes. With like 6 5/8 is very hard to sell. That's like a kid's shoe that just went to adult, like kid 7. You know, is hard to sell because there's not a lot of grown-ups who wear that size, and the kids go up to the grown-up size of that size. So like 6 5/8 is hard to sell, but like 7, 7 1/4, 7 1/8, those ones are easier to sell. But you know, they New Era hats, they make all the baseball team hats, and they sell fine. The older ones sell for the most money, the wool ones. The older wool New Era hats sell for good money. Let's see if we can find a good wool one. So this is an older one, Diamond League, and it's going to say right here, Pro model 7 3/8. So this one is a little older. This one is made of wool, and that's the older New Era logo right there. That the red with the little registered trademark by it. Here's another older one, New Era, 100% wool, 7 1/8, officially licensed baseball. And it's pretty straightforward on the fitted hats. One of the fitted hat brands that sells, it's very old, it's worth a lot of money, is Roman Pro. They're out there, but they're old. They're like from the 70s, and they have the leather sweatband on the inside. This is not a good picture of it. So present day hats have like a cotton sweatband on the inside, but these old Roman Pros, you see how it's browned around the interior? That's leather. And those old hats, like this right here, this is leather on the inside, and this is the Roman Pro logo. Roman Pro 7 1/8. And these are from the 70s. I think I'm auctioning off one this week. Let's see where it's at, if we can find it. Might have been last week. Or it might be coming up this week. I think it's coming up this week. But Roman Pro sells for good money. Let's take a look at the tag one more time. On the old ones, vintage Roman Pro hat. And these are from the 70s. Let's see if we have a, but the biggest giveaway is going to be the leather sweatband. Here's Roman Pro. I've sold the Yankees ones for multiple hundreds of dollars for the Roman Pro, and they sell great. So New Era sells good. New Era also makes the minor league hats. If you're going to go minor league hat, those are tricky because the logos are so hard to figure out. So you definitely kind of have to know what you're looking at for the minor league hats. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with a hat that you don't know what the team is. But they all have kind of funky logos on them, but this is the minor league logo that's going to be on the back as opposed to the major league logo. So here's the minor league logo. They sell, but you might have to do a lot of homework to figure out what the team is that you have, because they have all kinds of wonky teams. Like they have some with like pancakes on the front. They have all of these weird teams and weird logos, and like this one can be very hard to figure out if you don't know what you're looking for. This guy's singing a Christmas tree could be hard to figure out because they don't say words on them. They're just like this one down here. This one with the grapes on it. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, that one is hard to find. They have like Jamestown Jammers. Like, it's just grapes on the front. It's hard to figure out if you're not well versed. So the minor league baseball logo is going to be this, and this is the major league baseball logo, which is this. So it's kind of similar, but there's nothing wrong with buying the minor league hats, but just be prepared to do your research and do your homework, because there's hundreds and hundreds of teams. A lot of them are defunct. A lot of them come and go. And it can take some time to figure out what the logo is on your minor league hat. But they sell good. They sell great. You just have to figure out what the team is. And it's a little tricky. So you have snapback, you have strapback. Beanies sell great. North Face beanies, Nike beanies, sports team beanies. Beanies sell great. Bucket hats sell great. Then you get into like your flat caps and your newsboy caps, cowboy hats. Like, those aren't as like easy to find or in abundance when you're talking about hats. You're usually going to find snapback hats, strapback hat, fitted hats. So that's kind of what we covered here. But even beanies sell, like sports ones, football ones, baseball ones, basketball ones, North Face, Patagonia, Adidas, Nike. All of that stuff is still going to sell no problem, just in the beanie version. One more that I wanted to show was these military hats. They don't sell for a great amount of money, but they always sell. They're going to have like the name of a ship. And every time I sell one of these, someone writes me and says, I'm so glad I was able to find the hat, because my dad wore it every day and it's all beat up, or my dad wore it and he lost it. So like any of these hats, like you're not going to get rich selling them, but the people who buy them are very thankful that you do have them. And since we are picking them up for like $1, $2, or $5, these are going to sell for like the 15 to the $20 range. But they do eventually sell, and the people who buy them do appreciate it. But these are out there everywhere, and they're going to sell for around $20, and easy guaranteed sale. But you know, that's one of those. Other than that, I think that's pretty much a good amount of information as far as hats go. Um, most hats at the end of the day sell for around $20 to $30 pre-owned. Um, you know, the vintage ones sell for great money. They're very popular again right now. I sell a ton of hats every single day. I'm the #1 pre-owned hat seller on eBay. Not my primary focus, but if I could get more hats, I would be more than happy to list more hats. Hats are easy to store, they're easy to ship. If you're going to ship hats, make sure you ship them in a box. You can either ship them in the 7x7x6 priority box for free from USPS, or you can order boxes but kind of keep it around 7x7x6, or eBay has one that's 8x6x4, but it's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but it does work. But nobody who collects hats wants their hat to arrive crushed. So just make sure that you ship your hat in the box. It wouldn't be a bad idea to even mention in the listing that the hat will be shipped with care in a box. Um, but you know, fill out your item specifics, do all of that jazz. But hats are great. They're very cheap to find. They're in abundance. They sell every day. They never get returned, and you know, everybody walks away happy. So if anyone has any more questions about hats specifically, drop them down on the bottom where I post this video. But again, apologize for the other video not um, saving correctly. Hopefully this one saves correctly. Otherwise, I just spoke for a pretty long time, um, and it's not going to save. So here's a dedicated hat. If you guys want me to do more of these, maybe in the future I could do more where like we talk about one subject, because you know I've been doing this for a long time, pretty knowledgeable about a lot of niches, toys, you know, electronics, phones, hats, shoes, clothes, video games. Like I kind of done each one of those at a pretty large scale over the course of the years. I just chose to do clothes. It's not that that was just my decision. But I sold a lot of that stuff at huge volume. Once upon a time, I was one of the largest sellers in each of those niches once upon a time. But um, I just decided to go with clothing. So, you know, if anyone has any questions about other type of stuff outside of clothing, you know, feel free to ask anytime. Or if you guys want to talk about different kinds of subjects, feel free to, you know, drop some ideas below. And, you know, maybe if I have an extra hour per week, I'll drop one of these on Sunday, and, you know, we could build that database of really deep dives into certain niches. If you go in the doc, there's a deep dive call um, of like Polo, Tommy Hilfiger, a lot of like flea market bolos, like license plates, um, just random stuff that you could find that sells great. That's in the document. So I don't know if you guys have any ideas, just drop them in the comments below, and I'll make as much videos as you guys want to make. You guys know how I roll. So I appreciate everybody for listening, and I apologize that the other video didn't upload, but I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. I'm going to make it up, and, you know, recorded this one for you on Sunday, and that way everyone has a video, everyone's all good, and we got our videos up. So thank you again, and I appreciate you guys listening.